Hey y'all, come on in and see what we got going here. It's August 19th. Messed around with the with the old F-125. We got our little water gauge, or little liquid filled water gauge in there. Let's see, this is the new one here. I'm going to be able to show you both. Probably should have set this up before I started the old video. Hey, let me just set you right here on the old headrest. So I'm not sure from where you're sitting. That's the perch of the headrest. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see it while I'm just driving. I might have to like physically move my head to be able to see that. If I remember correctly, they were gratting running around the last time. I really couldn't see much from here back, I think. So it's just how it is. But this is what's the unit that's in there. You see how long it is, right? Which is why we had to go with what we did. I'm going to show you what I started making yesterday, and then why I had to go to the hardware store and just buy a T. That's 3/8 16 NPT. That's pipe thread, right? You see what's going on here? That probe goes almost all the way into the next fitting. So I had to cut the fitting down, thread it all the way in. So it's probably got about a 1/4 inch of thread there, probably about that much, 4 threads or so, and it's pipe doped up on the fitting here, just to make sure that we're not cutting down the flow of water too darn much. I mean, as it is, I ran a 1/2 inch drill bit through everything just to make sure it was as big as it could possibly be. So once we put the probe in, just a quick fit, and then put a fitting in the other end. Just wanted to be sure. Let me show you on the other piece we've got here. Hold on there. You're on top of the WD-40 can. Just with the other elbow, or 90 that we are. Jeez, I'm losing the other T-fitting. I'm just going to run this in by hand. But you see what we got going there, right? I mean, there's not a lot of space around it. So if you took the thickness of the threads, boy, it's really gonna squeak that thing down, close it on down, isn't it? So we didn't want this thing pissing like a fire hose. So like we did with this one here as well, we ran the 1/2 inch drill bit through the center, and then went ahead on the other fittings and just cut it down, so it was just probably 3 or 4 threads, and then ran it all the way in, so it doesn't get anywhere near the end of the probe there. So we got plenty of room for the water to flow. This is the piece here that I started to make yesterday. Here, let me show you this other thing out. It's the probe would have gone here, right? The gauge would have gone in this end here, and it would have sat like so. So it would come straight out here, out of the head. Gauge looking back right at the headrest, right? And then this one here would have been a 90 feeding the hose that we've got going on here, right? So why didn't I use this? Well, for one, this gauge would have been way back here. First of all, would have been even further back, which would have caused even more trouble, I guess. And for right now, we just want to test, right? We just want to run this thing and see if we can determine, you know, if the needle's running straight forward, right? We'll be able to put a little mark on it and know, you know, where it was at, and know, you know, that maybe we don't need to pay attention to the digital gauge anymore, because I think the true water temperature, like I've said before in the other videos, is the off throttle at the end of the straightaway when it drops 20-25 degrees. That's the number. I think the other number has something to do with the tack lead that runs up to the plug wire here, right? It connects into the brain box, the Mychron box here, and then on the other end, I mean, it comes in this side. On the other end are the 2 yellow plugs like this here that the extension cables plug into for the water and for the exhaust. The Mychron guy told me to take the tack lead off the box down here and then go out and run it and see if the water temperature stayed stable. And I said, well, if that's the problem, I got a bigger problem because the tack lead controls my shift lights, all the stuff that I need to help aid me in running this thing, you know, right on the ragged edge. So I want my shift lights. I want my RPMs. You know, I want all that. When the lights flash in 6th gear, I physically go back on. That's why I take the video. I can count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 of the lights flashing before I get off the gas at the end of the straightaway. And that's how I determine if the gear is correct for that particular track and that particular diameter of tires. So there is, I got to have all that stuff. So we just sit the panel back in place just to make sure, you know, everything was honky-dory. So I think we're going to be okay with that right there. That'll be okay for getting it tested, whether we go to Gingerman or we run it in October at Grattan at the test. That'll get us going. I bought 2 of these. They were $7 and change. It's brass, man. It's, you know, it's precious metal. It ain't going to go to waste, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we were playing around with today, chasing down these parts. Went and visit some old friends from the old neighborhood of Mom's Mom and Dad's house where we grew up. Stopped in and saw a couple old crazy old dudes over there, and that's it. We just hanging out in the garage in 100-degree weather, just about, right? This says 100 degrees, almost 100, and that says almost 100. So look at that. We're in sync. We're in sync. Rich welded up the wheel again for about the 5th time, but I believe it's still going to leak because it's where he heated it up and welded it on the inside. It cracked through onto the outside. So we're just going to get our new welder out of the box, get it in place. This one in the box, put away, and I'll just do the welding myself, man. I mean, I know he gets at work and he gets in a hurry. Sorry, Rich, but it's the truth. When you get in a hurry, and I get it, you only get so much time for your lunch, and you want to eat during lunch and smoke your cigarettes and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but it's got to be done right, and right most of the time means slow. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, it's front tire. And we don't want that thing going down at 140, 50 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour, 140 at least at Daytona, right? So, you know, and we want to be able to test those wheels and tires. The 460 tire, 4.6 on the 4 1/8 inch wide wheel. We want to be able to test the deflection and how it reacts and all that stuff. That's all part of the testing, right? So that's it. We're done. It's 7 o'clock or so on the 19th. We're going to head in and get us some grub. Just wanted to plumb this thing up and then stick the panel on and make sure we're missing everything. It's sitting right where it's supposed to. All this is cut out for the RV XX. That cylinder sits straight up and down, and it sits far back. I mean, the front of the cylinder is about where the spark plug is. I mean, it's way back here. So the hose coming out was back quite a bit. But that motor's not going back on here. This one's going to stay, and the hot rod motor is going to go on that car. I'm going to build that car. I'm gonna build that car. If we don't go, obviously we need to paint the trailer. We got work to do here. We'd like to go to Gingerman. Talked to Bobby this morning. Bobby, what's up? I don't want to just take. I could take the 4-banger. Just take the 4-banger and go and have fun. I'd get 2 15-minute runs for one entry fee, right? 2 15-minute runs with the rest of the 4-bangers out there. Would it be fun? Yeah, hell yeah, it'd be fun. I will need more gear though. I mean, if the gear was right for Grattan, which I'm not completely sold that it is. I think it needed more teeth for Grattan. I think it's going to need even more teeth for Gingerman, and I don't have any more sprockets. So I don't know what we're going to do about Gingerman yet. Maybe we'll get this thing going and just get whatever we can on it. You know, test this thing here out and go run this thing. And we don't need to run the whole 40 minutes. There's going to be no one there for us to race. Harry will probably be there. But, you know, racing one other go-kart to me isn't racing. So, and it just at this point doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. We really want to do all of our damage in December. So, this, believe it or not, here's the big heads up. Bob freaked out when I told him. This car, we'll probably set up for Brother Rich. We got another set of pedal mounts here. We can move the pedals back if he can reach the steering wheel from the seat and the way it is. He would run this car at Daytona, and I will be running that one with the RV XX with a different big carb. The big carb that I did, the needle carb, I could run that one, or we got the offer of the PSI carb, the big air carb from PSI from our buddy Sid Swift. So we'll see. We'll see. For the 19th, we're done. Gonna head in. It's warm out here. We're gonna go and get some food, put our feet up, get on the lazy boy. It'll get better, y'all. I promise. Jesus is coming, maybe soon. Better get right. I'm praying for you. Godspeed.